Hi everyone and welcome to a new episode of Days Podcast along with a new video. I want to thank you guys so much for liking, subscribing, viewing, watching, and listening. I truly appreciate it. I will be doing more exclusive episodes and videos that will be on Spotify and Patreon. I have yet to make sure you guys also receive just free episodes and content, just me just chatting with y'all, getting acquainted into the new year. We're in February, as where we're dated right now. And I actually, if you guys haven't checked out already, talked about something for the hotties as opposed to good news, with Megan Thee Stallion, which who we're talking about today as far as for Traumazine. It is her birthday today as far as for when I'm posting this, so happy birthday to Megan. I do want to shout out the fact that yes, she has sent me Bitcoin in the midst of good news. As far as a promo, I was tweeting, and she responded, and I ever since then, I just, not even ever since then, but even before when I was listening to her, and even in the midst of when that had happened, I just had always felt she was a star and still is. And she's always just been herself. I think that, there's always, like I've told you guys, in previous videos, that everyone has a story, that a lot be going on. And we are going to get into that with Traumazine, okay? So Traumazine is the second studio album by American rapper Megan Thee Stallion, released on August 12th, 2022. This was her final work with 300 Entertainment and 1501 certified. Yes, the album cover is black and white. She is wanting people to know, listen, there's things I have to get off my chest. Upon release, Traumazine received positive reviews from critics who complimented its production and Megan's flow. It was nominated for the BET Hip Hop Award for Album of the Year. The album's lead single, Sweet as Pie, with English singer Dua Lipa, peaked at number 15 on the US Billboard Hot 100 and has been certified platinum by the Recording Academy. Commercially, the album debuted at number 4 on the US Billboard 200, becoming Megan Thee Stallion's 5th US Top 10 album. It did not achieve high placements in international charts, sparking a lawsuit by the rapper, who accused the label of insufficient promotion. The album was later certified gold by the Recording Academy for selling over 500,000 units. For those that have been watching me, this is for those that have been watching me and that have understood when I said, and I'm gonna make sure that I even speak in real time in this video for when it's dated and when you guys watch, in the sense of where, for those that are new and for those that know, when I say this, there are times you will see people that will sign with labels and they don't get promoted fully, or these people may have not thought that they had to promote themselves fully. I'm pretty much saying the same thing, but ultimately there are times where people don't realize later, well, until later, that, maybe I need to be independent. I need to have an imprint while I'm doing all this, so I can get a little bit of the cut. While I'm touring, yeah, I get a little bit of the cut of that, because yes, this person that is certified to be here as a performer and also someone that is getting any type of compensation, okay? We've seen it. There's artists that you wouldn't think are independent that are. They are not fully with labels, whereas they may have the distribution deals. But other than that, there's a lot of artists that are just like, no, I'm all set. And maybe there are some artists that are working with labels that are doing all right, or well. I can't say all right, because if they're doing well, they are. If they're not, they're not. And besides the point, I have said it previously where it's just like, yeah, there are labels, or just a sense of where labels have a sense to where they may not support certain things, or may have not disclosed certain things because of, I don't get into the details of all that because I still have to learn and understand all that for what it is. But for this particular album, and for how they had said for something for the hotties, which we have, well, when you look at that video and episode, the compilation album, compilation, quotation, for what she feels, okay? Because she felt that was an album, okay? They said, no, that's a compilation. That's not an album. You could add a little bit more. There'll be a deluxe to be an album. Like, wait a minute, huh? But that's from what she had said, I believe. Even for the sake of where they said, well, I can't even say I believe. They said we would like an addition to something for the hotties as opposed to 2 more albums. And she was like, well, wait a minute. I thought this was an album already. So, with that being said, this particular album was 51 minutes. So I went to where, not saying I, but she's saying from her point of view and from what she is saying here is, I did 51 minutes this time. This is an album, right? Why is there not enough people from where I would even go to perform for not receiving the album enough? What's going on? And that, yeah. And like I said in previous videos, overseas, when they know you, oh no. They will wait until you are really being like, hey, so I'm out here, get your tickets. They will be like, oh yeah, let me get my, because it's not often that artists will go overseas because they do stay in the US and do a lot of things here too. So it's just like, I can't blame her for feeling like, well, wait a minute, overseas is not, receiving the album well, because at least if I'm going overseas, there's some money over there. What's going on? Because she's still a new artist as opposed to having Grammys. So it's just, yeah. I don't really want to get into all that legal stuff about it because we already kind of talked about a gist of it and something for the hotties. So we will keep it in the way where it's just in this time and form. Yeah, on August 11, 2022, Megan took to Twitter to announce that her second studio album, Traumazine, would be released the next day. The rapper also wrote about the lawsuit, expressing her disappointment and emotional distress at the difficulty she is experiencing in releasing her music. But ending her message to fans with the phrase, "We almost out." Megan defined the album title as referring to a chemical released in the brain when forced to deal with painful emotions caused by traumatic events and experiences. See synonyms, self-realization. Okay. Yes. After the low promotion of Traumazine by the label, the Stallion has started a second lawsuit accusing the company of contributing to the album's poor sales and marketing. On October 19, 2023, lawyers from 1501 Certified Entertainment confirmed that they and the Stallion had reached a confidential agreement to resolve their legal differences by parting amicably. Okay, so, yeah. She went through pretty much a year's worth of just in court, trying to just see what can balance out in the sense of where she can just be on her way. I don't blame her because it's like I had mixtapes, I had an album, I had a compilation album, and now when I release an album, another album, it's not doing as well. That's a lot going on. But yeah. Critical reception, let's look at it. As far as, before we look at the critical reception, yeah, Traumazine contains themes related to self-expression, the empowerment of African American women, death, and overcoming difficult moments in life. The rapper discussed the meaning of the record project, stating, "Usually when I write songs, I could be sad. I don't write songs about how I feel. I write songs about how I want to feel." So I feel like on this album, it's probably the first time I figured out how to talk about what I want to say, express myself a little bit more. So that's just how I've been living life. And I feel like it's been so easy for people to tell my story for me, speak on my behalf because I'm a nonchalant person. I feel like, but like I see now that it can get out of control. So I feel like I wanted to just take control of my narrative, take control of my own story, tell it my way, tell it from me. Okay. And I don't blame her because, yeah, um, there's so much that changes in a year's time, 2 years, 5 years, months, if anything. And life's too short. Okay, people want money. Okay, people want to have happy lives. Just do the nice fancy living, glossy, nice jewelry, nice vacation, sun me up, dive into, whatever beautiful water. I get it. I get it. But from what we're seeing in recent times and recent releases, a lot of consciousness is valued. And I'm grateful because whether it's a Kendrick Lamar, even down to her, where you guys can go and look at, I talked about her album, Megan, Act 1 and 2. Yes, we are piecing in, okay? So I talked about that album as far as from it being released last year and just, getting to a point where it's like, all right, no, I'm out of this contract. I am on my own, doing my own thing, and I have things to get off my chest. And more than I am getting right here. This was the breaking point of just getting it off. And Megan, okay, self-titled, get into that. As far as like I was saying, just with life, she just was at a point where it's like this is not it. No, I gotta do better, and I have to have better, and I deserve better. And I think all artists who are out there trying to really do their thing, it don't have to always be just having such a big push. You really can just do it yourself. you know yeah, Traumazine was met with very positive response from critics at Metacritic, which assigns a normalized rating of out of 100. It receives a 80 based on 11 views. So I believe it was an 84 or an 85 when it came to Good News. I believe. I can go back and check, but let me just see. This is why I always make sure when I come down to talking about things with you guys. Yes, so it's an 85 with Good News. So here, with it being 80 with 11 views, that means that again, this is based off of her still being with the label. If by any chance there was a sense of where marketing would be, and maybe just a sense of just promotion too, from her stance, it probably would have did a little bit better from reviews, but that doesn't take away that it's past 75 and 72 and 70, and usually there's albums that are in that range or even in the 60s, with more reviews. And with less reviews and already being at 80 on the dot, it's like, okay, well, this is not bad. This is actually good. And it said very positive. It just did not have enough in the sense of when it came out as opposed to what was already coming out. Because from what I'm seeing here, Sweet as Pie released March 11th, 2022. Plan B, April 22nd, 2022. Pressurelicious, July 21st, 2022. And then Her, August 15th, 2022. So there's already singles coming out in the midst of building towards the album being released. And yeah, what do you mean it's not internationally going anywhere as much as it would here? What's going on? If they're already getting 4 songs already and visuals at that. So that's important. A lot of times people don't really emphasize that when it comes to these commentaries. You guys know my commentary is mine. I do my own thing. Everybody, they'll get more into detail, show you guys the flashiness, which I could get into. I could show pictures and stuff, but I like to make it where you guys can talk with me, even from a sense of it being audio, where it's just like you guys are just, you guys are with me, But yeah, as far as it debuting at number 4, though, that's still very good. It debuted higher than Something for the Hotties, which is great. With 63,000 album equivalent units, including 8,000 pure album sales, becoming Megan Thee Stallion's 5th U.S. top 10 album. It Decembered. Sorry for that, guys. Descended to number 9 the following week, selling 29,000 units, and then to 23 in its third week. Yeah, so it's just like there could have been more, and I hate that there wasn't enough for this album. And don't mind my speech. There's times I try to make sure I read and elaborate everything as I read, because of course you want to make sure you say things. So yes, let's get into the track list. Track 1 is NDA. Track 2 is Ungrateful featuring Key Glock. Track 3, Not Nice. Track 4, Budget featuring Lotto. Track 5, Her. Track 6, Gift and a Curse. Track 7, Miss Nasty. Track 8, Who Me featuring Pooh Shiesty. Track 9, Red Wine. Track 10, Scary featuring Rico Nasty. Track 11, Anxiety. Track 12, Flip Flop. Track 13, Consistency featuring Janae Aiko. Track 14, Star featuring Lucky Day. Track 15, Pressurelicious, Pressurelicious, oh God, I can't say this word right. Sorry. Pressurelicious, there we go, featuring Future. Track 16, Plan B. Track 17, Southside Royalty Freestyle featuring Sauce Walker, Big Pokey, and Little Kiki. Track 18 is Sweet as Pie, featuring Dua Lipa. So yeah, like there's a lot that is transitioning as far as throughout the album. Different themes, a lot that she's getting off of her chest as opposed to still having fun. Though she was ready to move on. And I think it was only right for her, as far as being a Grammy Award winning artist and going number 1 and even going number 1 even in the midst of, with WAP and even thereafter with Hiss. You kind of say to yourself, like, no, this was the right thing to do. Like, I don't need to be trying to struggle in any form with anything. If I'm passionate and having everything the way I need to have it, aligning myself the way I need to align myself, like that is important in life, for anything we do. But yes, I thank you guys so much for listening and watching, and I'll be back with more.